By giving people the power to share, we are making the world more transparent. That quote is from Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. And it talks about how the era we live in today with social networking allows us to be more open and connected to each other. Resolve that social networking is detrimental to society. Social networking is defined as an online community of people with a common interest who use a website or other technology to communicate with each other and share information. I would like to also point out the definition of detrimental. Detrimental is defined by dictionary.com as to cause loss or damage. I would like you to keep that in mind during this debate, as Kyle, as the affirmative, holds the burden of truth to prove to you that social networking is in fact exactly detrimental to society and is not just not the best for it. It is detrimental. It causes damage to society. I'd like to address the 4 values I will pinpoint in my speech. I will talk to you about the social, educational, economic, and political advantages of social networking. I would like to begin with social, which was also mentioned in Kyle's. Social networking is one of the top news sources in the world today. As for Americans, 27.8% of Americans stated that social networking sites are their top source of news. That is only 1% below newspapers. So really, it's really strong in the news outlet source. It's the best way. If you look at, for example, our recent news with the search for the Boston bomber. Social networking played a huge role in relaying information and up-to-date information about what was going on that other things like a newspaper and magazines would never be able to do because of this quick movement of time. I'd also like to talk about the social interactions between people. It might seem easy to say that you should just go out, talk face-to-face with people, but sometimes it's not that easy. Many people have trouble interacting with other people in face-to-face, and social networking gives isolated and shy people a means to talk to others. Also, as a minor note, a big movement that we've seen lately around us is the musicians and artists using social networking to gain audiences without any corporate record deal or sponsor. I'd next like to talk about education. Education, obviously everyone cares about education, and social networking has been really tied to education, both positively and negatively. But today I'd like to focus on the positive. There was a study done in Portland, Oregon recently, and they found that 59% of students use social networking to talk about educational topics online. Not everything you see in social networking sites is always just gossip and talking to your friends. There are very educational resources on it. More back to that study, 50% of students said that they use social networking to help each other on assignments and study for tests. And finally, they also did part of the study was they introduced students that were not familiar with social networking to social networking, and they saw that 50% of those students' grades actually increased with the new advantages of social networking. Also, through social networking opens up a whole new world for a lot of students, where students will now, through social media, have the ability to reach new educational resources. We can choose everything from just topics for stuff like our debates that we run in this class, current events in our government classes, things of that nature, and research into those fields, where you see the new medical news coming out, new news about laws and government that's going on. Social networking allows people to learn about that. And finally, for education, obviously social media, you talk to each other. A big thing that's been coming around, especially I believe in college campuses, is social media has been giving students and teachers a very simple and easy way to communicate from each other. Therefore, students have even more outlets for their learning and for their studying purposes. Next is the economic benefits of social networking. Social networking, as you can, how many of you have seen the movie Social Network about the founding of Facebook? As you can see perfectly through that movie, social networks create jobs. Just because it's a website doesn't mean people don't work at it. Thousands of jobs are created every year through social networking sites. And through that added productivity and companies that use social media to improve customer service, it is estimated that the United States has gained $900 billion to $1.3 trillion through social networking. On the other hand, social networking can also be used to help people find jobs. 64% of American companies are on at least 2 social networking sites actively searching for employees. Finally, I would like to look at the political aspect of social networking. Social networking is a great outlet for people attempting to make a political change, as was obvious in the last few years with the Occupy movement. Many of you might not know, but the Occupy Wall Street, the biggest of those, was started simply with the hashtag Occupy Wall Street on Twitter, and that grew to the great movement that we saw happen recently, as well as the 2011 Egyptian movement to help relieve them from their government. It also empowers individuals to make social change, as was seen, like we talked about with the gay rights movement and the equal sign profile picture on Facebook. Social networking gives people the ability to make personal social change. And also, you all see on Facebook the doctor with the picture, to help donate $1 to this baby. Many of you probably think that's complete a joke, but many times you'd be surprised that's actually true. There are multiple stories of people using that to actually raise money for things like Hurricane Sandy, and a woman even recently helped find a kidney donor for her daughter through Facebook. I would like to keep all 4 social, educational, economic, and political benefits of social networking in Vive, and it should be obvious that social networking is in fact in no way detrimental to society. Thank you. Vote negative.